Is there enough chairs?
They were telling us to get lost.
Huh?
I think they were coming to tell us to get lost. And decided not to.
They're not going to allow you to sit. They're not going to allow her to sit the chair on the track. Yeah, the track is specialized. I just don't want you to get yelled at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you were taking a picture. I didn't want to block it. Already had a rough day. Little guy already has a rough day.
Sorry, coming through.
So walk by a container.
gonna have to back him off the pavement. You don't want anybody on the...
Testing, okay. What a beautiful, absolutely perfect night to hold this commencement ceremony. My name is Robin Leversus, and I am the principal of Torrington High School. We want to welcome students, families, Torrington High School and Torrington Public School staff, the central office staff, the THS admin team, the custodial staff, the distinguished guests, members of the Board of Education, and the many friends and family watching from afar to the Torrington High School commencement celebration for the class of 2022. We have many thanks, those will come in a little bit, but we will get started right now with what is going to be just a beautiful commencement for our class of 2022. I would like to introduce the 2022 Executive Board President, Zach Cruiser.
Ooh, is it hot out here? It's just me. Good evening, Mrs. Limbomsky, Mrs. Leversus, members of the administration, Board of Education, teachers and staff, parents, friends, family, in the class of 2022. Before I begin, I would like to take a minute to express my gratitude to everyone here tonight, to my mom and dad for giving me everlasting love and showing me how to take the world into my hands and make it as I wish. To my grandparents for your endless support and hundreds of car rides to and from school, practices, and games. To my grandmother, whom I never got the opportunity to meet, although I know she watches over me today. To all of my family for shaping me into the man I am today. And lastly, to my sister, who is the biggest inspiration and greatest role model a younger brother could have ever asked for. That's about the nicest compliment you're gonna get, so I hope you got that on video. I want to take this time to give all the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and every other special guest in attendance a huge round of applause for everything they have done for each and every one of us over these last few years. I would like to take another minute to acknowledge all the teachers and staff for tirelessly working to restore normalcy to THS and for guiding us along this especially unusual 4-year journey. Let's give them a huge round of applause as well. To preface what I'm going to share with you all today, I never thought it would be so hard to write something like this. Since I found out I would have the honor of speaking about a year ago, I always thought I would have some super deep, life-changing message to share with you all, and that is not the case. I told myself I wouldn't begin writing until something sparked inside of me. Well, that didn't happen either, and the deadline was approaching, so I had to start somewhere. But let's be honest here, it wouldn't be a proper high school paper if I didn't procrastinate until 2 days before the deadline. I struggled thinking about what I would talk about because, after all, I'm speaking to an audience of kids my age, kids that are just like me, and what the hell do I know about life? So I'm going to make this short and sweet. With that being said, I'm done. Thank you. Just kidding.
Once you get out there
Among many lessons I learned in the classroom, the most important lessons were the ones that were self-taught. Throughout these past 4 years of my life, I have learned 3 important lessons that have changed my life and how I go about every single day that I would like to share with you all. The first lesson is that you must accept failure. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." In my early years of playing sports, mainly baseball, I was horrible with the acceptance of failure. Every time that I would strike out or throw a bad pitch, I would throw my bat and toss my helmet in frustration. I would get so angry with myself that I would lose complete focus on the task at hand. I am a firm believer that what you put into this universe is what you get out of it, and whenever I would put out negativity, I would receive it in return, which would make these failures and mistakes seem to compound. It took many years to get over this mental block that I had with failing. I quickly hit reality when I got to high school and learned that I was going to fail. A lot. I then told myself that failing isn't making a mistake, it's learning how not to do something. Accepting failure is one thing, but moving forward after failing and trying again and again until you reach success is what makes all the difference. The second lesson that I learned is that there will be bad days. When I first dreamed about getting the opportunity to give this speech, way back in the innocent year of 2019, I always thought that there wasn't much I would be able to reminisce about with the audience and tie us all together. You know, it's not like there would be a massive worldwide pandemic that would throw us all into a state of complete and utter chaos for about 2 years, so that was off the list. I think it is safe to say that throughout the difficult year of 2020, we each had some pretty significant bad days. Many times we often feel that bad days shouldn't happen to us. In 2020, it seemed as though every day was a bad day. News lines headed with countries in lockdown for weeks, thousands of deaths caused by COVID-19, and the world economy at its lowest point in over a decade. But we forget that it must rain before we see the rainbow. Through these repetitive days, we quickly saw this rainbow. Some of us bonded more closely with our families than ever before. Some found new passions and binged more Netflix shows than you could ever imagine. Others destroyed their sleep schedules, staying up until the brinks of dawn doing God knows what, which I'm guilty of, for sure. Although we as a class faced a disrupted and atypical high school experience, I feel as though the majority of us agree that we are most certainly better off having encountered these bad days. I think with what we have been through, the majority of us have already learned, whether we know it or not, that sometimes we think bad days are often valuable and full of opportunity. Finally, don't worry about what you cannot control. As a kid, my dad often repeated this phrase to me. Many times I would get angry and frustrated over situations I had no control over, such as people's decisions, a bad call by an umpire, or whether or not the Yankees would win another World Series. I'm actually still worrying about that one, but maybe this year. This lesson goes hand in hand with the previous one, in which I learned to overcome this bad habit in just the previous 2 years. On March 13th of 2020, when school was shut down, none of us knew what would happen. None of us knew that we would be waiting to return to school for 6 months, that athletic seasons would be canceled, and time for us high schoolers to make core memories would be ripped from our hands. Through this slew of unfortunate events, I learned to worry about what I can control. John C. Maxwell once said something that resonates with me very deeply. He said, "Why worry about things you can't control when you can keep yourself busy controlling the things that depend on you?" When I began worrying less about what I could not control, I found peace and my stress diminished. It was a true life changer for me, and I hope you all find this piece of advice well. Through the most unimaginable of circumstances, we did it. The class of 2022, you sit here before me today having persevered through the hardest of times. You all are living examples of perseverance. You made it through online school. When did you ever think you would be going to a 720 math class while laying in your bed under your covers and still somehow pass the class? It's unbelievable. I know I'm rambling on, and I promise not to keep you all waiting for long, but there's one more thing that I would like to thank you all for today. Upon being elected class president freshman year, it was my goal to have the greatest school spirit and create a community that is inclusive and enriches the community of Torrington. When COVID came and we had no pep rallies or spirit weeks, it almost seemed hopeless. But you guys are the ones who turned it around. You are the ones who brought back Torrington High School and brought it back to life. With your passion, excitement, and togetherness, we had the opportunity to have a homecoming, some of the greatest spirit weeks of all time, a prom, and even a pep rally. I know I may be a little biased, but I truly do believe that we are the greatest and most inspirited class to ever leave Torrington High School. To each and every one of you sitting here before me today, it has been a pleasure and an honor to have made these special memories with you the past 4 years. This next chapter is going to be a strange one without having you all here there for it, and I'll miss you all immensely. I know that in all of you there is something special, and I look forward to watching you succeed in whatever path it is you choose on your next adventure. Congratulations to the class of 2022, and until we meet again, farewell. Thank you. I would like to now introduce the class of 2022 salutatorian, Skylar Robinson.
Students, staff, and families, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, and I'd also like to thank Zach for the introduction. I'd like to start off with the age-old saying that many of you have probably heard repeated by your parents and other adult figures throughout your lives. Don't grow up too fast. I know, many of you are probably sick of hearing it by now. I was too. If you were anything like me as a kid, you probably couldn't wait to leave elementary school, and then middle school, and then finally high school. Essentially, you wanted to rush through every milestone in your life, big or small, in hopes of eventually crossing some imaginary finish line. As I've grown older, it's become simultaneously easier and harder to accept that the cautionary tale they drilled into my head was correct. Easier because I could feel the time passing me by, and regardless of the fact that I'm still young, I often find myself reminiscing about my childhood. A time when life was far simpler, and thinking about all the memories I missed out on because I was too focused on growing up. Harder though, because it's not exactly easy for me to admit that they were right. I remember daydreaming about starting high school and getting my driver's license and going to football games and all the other stereotypical things that kids associate with being a teenager. While I've done all those things, they weren't all they were cracked up to be. I'm a firm believer that they could have been, however. I wasn't super appreciative of the memories I was making as a kid because I was so preoccupied with finally being able to do everything I had already, everything I mentioned previously, but when I actually did those things, I wasn't able to appreciate them either. Why, you might ask? Because I was already busy envisioning what college would be like, or getting my first apartment, or my first real job. I've spent my whole life wishing the future would come faster, only to continue wishing for the time to speed up and the future I wish for actually did arrive. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Regardless though, I can't change what's in the past, which I guess is where we're going with this. I'm sure we're all at least slightly guilty of dwelling on the past or spending time fantasizing about the future, but if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that plans change. So much of what occurs on a day-to-day basis is completely out of our control, which makes it so easy for our ideas of what the future would look like to shift in entirely in an instant. As cheesy as it sounds, we can't always control the situation, but we can control how we respond to it. We make so many choices every single day, and I guess what I'm proposing is that we should always try to make choices that maximize our happiness when possible. We hear things like high school is what you make of it, college is what you make of it, or even life is what you make of it. And once again, as cheesy as it is, it's true. You are the driver of your own destiny, and yes, by the way, I am in fact attempting to break the world record for highest numbers of cliches stuffed into a single speech. In a show I'm sure many of you know and love, The Office, the great Andy Bernard once said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." And, well, I'd like to leave you with this. You absolutely can. It's quite simple, actually. Live every day, every moment even, like you're living the good old days in real time. Because, to be honest, you probably are. Make memories that you could tell your kids about to make them jealous of how cool you were when you were younger. But don't stop there. Don't stop trying to live the good old days, or even after you exit your youth, because then, theoretically, you'll never truly leave them. And hey, that might just be the secret to remain fulfilled throughout your life, but what do I know? I'm nothing more than a high school graduate. Regardless, I'd just like to say that it was a pleasure to get to know all of you over the past 4 years, or in many cases far longer than that. And I know no matter what path you take after we part ways, you will all do great things and make Torrington High School proud to call you alumni. I, for one, am already proud to have been able to call you my classmates, and I'm extremely grateful for the laughs we shared and the lessons you've all taught me over the years. Thank you. And I would now like to introduce the Class of 2022 Class President, Logan Wilson.
Good evening. I would like to start off with a huge thank you to family, friends, teachers, and administration for coming here tonight to celebrate our incredible class of 2022. When I say that the class of 2022 is incredible, I truly mean it. Whether we are looking at this class's contributions to academics, athletics, music, or the community, the class of 2022 stands out. Academically, our class boasts one of the strongest collections of GPAs, SAT scores, and college admissions results in recent memory. Athletically, the class of 2022 led our historically amazing football team to the second round of the state tournament, impressing everyone in our community. Musically, the class of 2022 represents the last class to contribute to the THS concert band that received all state honors in 2019. And for the community, the class of 2022, with a good amount of help from the class of 2023, helped to raise over $19,000 for local charities at this year's Raider Rally. The list of accomplishments of the wonderful class of 2022 could go on forever. I truly mean it when I say that our class is incredible. I am beyond proud to represent them. I would appreciate it if we could get a huge round of applause for the class of 2022 and all of their accomplishments. As I walked out of THS for the final time last Monday, I was struck with an odd feeling of melancholy. After an abnormally long walk to my car, thank you to the administration for that, I sat down and began to wait at the parking lot exit, pondering why I was feeling such an odd sense of sadness. I dwelled upon my high school experience, wondering why I was sad to be leaving. After all, high school, mostly Mr. Markey and Miss Sullivan, put me through hours of work, uncomfortable levels of stress, and countless nights of minimal sleep. I wondered, what was there to miss? Everyone always said that I needed to appreciate the memories, but as I was sitting there reflecting, not very many came to mind. Sure, there were plenty of memories that I made off of THS property, but that didn't explain why I was sad to be leaving the building for the final time. I'm going to take a pause here and address everyone who asked me prior to graduation, Logan, how much of your speech do you have written? Only to be met with the answer, I haven't written anything yet, but I have a couple of ideas. I'm sorry, I lied. I didn't have ideas, I just had idea, only one. I knew that I needed to talk about the infamous urinal incident, or as the students call it, the cleanup on aisle 4. Now back to the line in the parking lot. As I racked my brain for memories, one in particular came to mind, the cleanup on aisle 4. In Halloween of our freshman year, I distinctly remember sitting in Miss Costa's room and seeing a pool of water slowly encroaching under the door. While the flood itself was not amusing, students came together after being relocated to the library, laughing at the absurdity of the event. As I reflected upon that day, some more memories came flooding in. What about during our sophomore year, when we went into lockdown as a result of a mysterious white substance that turned out to be powder off of someone's donut? Or during our junior year, when we got an extra hour of sleep during remote learning as a result of Google crashing? Or even during our senior year, when the administration kindly stole all of our parking spots? These events were the first ones to come to mind as I considered my entire high school experience, leading me to wonder, why do I think of these events first? What do they share in common? I quickly came to an answer. All of these memorable events were totally unexpected. Out of these unexpected events came memorable and enjoyable moments, laughing with friends. We've considered memorable moments in each of our high school years, but now I'd like to take you all back to elementary and middle school at one of the most enjoyable times of the year, the end. As our classes concluded, it came time for the highly anticipated event of the year, yearbook signing. As I'm sure all of you can remember, each year our yearbooks would be filled with one simple, repetitive message: HAGS. Have a good summer. To put what I learned in Miss Sullivan's to use, let's do a quick analysis of the author's purpose behind that phrase. First of all, most obviously, it is a message with good intentions and pleasant wishes behind it. But there's one word that stands out to me: summer. In our young minds, we had a very clear setting in mind for our positive wishes to our friends this summer. We knew that we would see them again in the coming year, so there was no need to worry about anything other than the coming summer. That message stands in sharp contrast to the message that I found repeated in my yearbook signings this year: good luck, or if the signer was feeling like being extra specific, perhaps good luck with everything. Now, as we head into the next stage of our lives, our messages for each other are clouded with uncertainty. We don't know what to expect as we head into this next stage of our lives, and it is certain that many unexpected events will occur. But is that necessarily a bad thing? If all of our most memorable events throughout our high school experience were the unexpected ones, should we really fear the uncertainty of our futures? Perhaps we should embrace it and try to enjoy the unexpected events of life. They are bound to happen either way. I'm going to take a pause again and thank Skylar Robinson, because we clearly share a very similar mind. When I was going to write my speech, I began searching for quotes, and as I'm sure you guys are expecting, I took the exact same one as Skylar. In much of the experience of high school, we've seen things like this happen. Perhaps this is a lesson to teachers that plagiarism isn't as rampant as you might think it is. I thought that Andy Bernard from the sitcom The Office summed it up very well when he said that, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." As we head into a time of our life that isn't necessarily perfectly laid out for us yet, where we aren't sure if we're leaving the good old days or entering them, perhaps we should try to appreciate the events of life happening around us. To stop and smell the roses, as they say. Sure, unexpected events will happen, but maybe that's what makes the good old days the good old days. I will now ask all of you to jog your memories for me one final time. At the end of our junior year, during student council elections, my joint campaign with Haley promoted the message, "Let's have the best senior year possible." Now, in the interest of sticking with that message, I do not think that we could say we had the best senior year possible, without a good picture together. Thank you. To leave you with one final message, I want to remind all of you to, as you approach the next chapter of your life, try not to fear the uncertainty. Embrace it, and remember to appreciate the humor and joy that can derive from unexpected events. Thank you all for giving me the chance to speak, and congratulations to the class of 2022. I would now like to introduce the class of 2022 valedictorian, Leah Darby.
Big L. 1 point ahead of me. 1 point.
Good evening, friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. I'm so honored to be standing here today to represent the graduating class of 2022. I would like to start by thanking the administrators and staff that have worked so hard to put together this wonderful event. Your tremendous efforts are greatly appreciated. 4 years ago, I walked through the front doors of THS as just a lonely little freshman. Torrington was not my school district growing up. I knew almost no one on the first day. I didn't know what to expect. I was simply on a mission to find my English class. I wandered the unfamiliar hallways, not knowing that I was walking past the room where I'd soon find my new favorite hobby of throwing clay on the potter's wheel. Past the room where I learned how to analyze rhetorical devices to a high degree. Past the room where my class would someday intensely debate whether or not they would follow the instructions of a ghost. All I knew was that THS was different. It was the first big change in my life, but it would not be the last. In the words of some Greek philosopher who I cannot pronounce, change is the only constant in life. And isn't that why we are here today? Sure, we are here to celebrate the hard work and dedication of the graduating class. Through the ups and downs, through the sleepless nights, through the feelings of utter dread when we finally turned in those English papers, we have made it. We are also here to herald in a time of change. Our class particularly is not immune to change. The year of 2020 has certainly proved that much. One day, we were happy-go-lucky sophomores just trying to fit in with the social whirlpool of high school. The next, we were reading each other through emails or the Google Meet chat box. It is truly terrifying how quickly everything changed in that moment. I can still remember sitting in my history class in March of 2020. I was definitely paying attention to the lesson at hand, but I distinctly recall someone mentioning a new virus, and I thought to myself, I'm sure it won't be that bad, nothing will change, and I think that it's now very safe to admit that I was very wrong. In the past few years, our community has become divided in more ways than one. While the pandemic forced us apart physically, developments in politics and school policies caused considerable social rifts. It became too easy to feel lost and alone in the midst of such chaos. I don't know about you guys, but I've always struggled with handling such change. This may be obvious coming from the girl who didn't change her hairstyle for the majority of high school. Change is all about the unknown, and I hate not knowing. But I've come to accept that change can be a very good thing. THS was my change, and it has given me an amazing high school experience. From the very first day, I noticed how special the students and staff of THS were. From the extreme dedication during Raider rallies to the loud school spirit during football games, this community cares. I see my classmates putting their energy into quality theater productions, award-winning band contests, nail-biting sporting events, community fundraisers, and of course, academics. And I'm so proud to have been a part of it all. I've learned so much from THS. Yes, I now confidently know what the imperfect tense is and how to take the derivative of a function. But I've also learned that high school parking lots are the scariest places on earth, and that you can absolutely forget a class schedule despite following it for months. But I would say that most importantly, THS has shown me that change can be such a wonderful thing. Looking at our time during the pandemic, we can choose to see a silver lining despite the immense tragedy. Many of us emerged from our homes with a better understanding of ourselves. From the sudden change, we have also learned the true value of being together. Today, the class of 2022 is standing on the precipice of a new, huge change. No matter what your plans are next year, we are all about to take the next step in our lives. I know many of you, like me, are nervous for the times ahead, but I would like to remind you to always embrace the change. Change can be scary, but it can also be a gateway to endless opportunities, adventures, and friends. Without coming to THS, I would have never gotten to experience the many joys of laughing at my lunch table and ranting about life with my favorite teachers. So, be nostalgic and sad to leave behind everything you've known, but always be open and excited about the new possibilities ahead of you. As we all edge towards this next adventure, I also want to urge you to go out and create change of your own. Answer T.S. Eliot in the affirmative. Dare to disturb the universe. Be the needed difference in the world. Be a part of the next generation that fights for children to be safe from going to school.
What?
Be a part of the generation that creates a world where people feel so comfortable being themselves.
Yeah.
I've seen what you can accomplish in our small community. I have seen how talented you all are. Now I cannot wait to see what is next, what you will do in the future, because it is wide open. And now before I get off the stage, and I know that everyone, including myself, would like me to hurry up, I would like to take a moment to thank those who have helped me see the good. Thank you to my many family members who are present and not present today. And I would also like to thank my parents for being my #1 supporters, Mom for helping me study for vocab quizzes and instilling in me a love of learning, Dad for taking countless pictures and always giving me a hug when I needed one most. You both are the reason that I'm here today. I'm so grateful for all that you've done for me, and I don't think words can capture how proud I am to be your daughter. Also, thank you for listening to this speech multiple times because I was a bit nervous about reading it and I wasn't sure if you could tell. Thank you to my brother for never hesitating to make me laugh. I will cherish the moments when you planted yourself in my room and refused to move. Thank you for your obnoxious jokes and blasting music when I was trying to write my English essays. You remind me every day how much fun life can be. Thank you to my friends for being by my side since the beginning, even though I am a ginger. Thank you to my prom date and passing buddy for always making me feel included and making me die of laughter every single day. Oh, and also for introducing me to Chipotle. Thank you to my numerous teachers throughout my years at THS. I know that I can be a bit much, but every time I ask yet another question, or sent yet another email, or stayed after school yet another time, you all always responded in a kind and welcoming way. Seeing my mom's work as a teacher, I know the effort and dedication that goes into this career, so I appreciate everything you've done for me and for the students at THS. And I also want to give a special thank you to Ms. Sullivan for helping me survive my sophomore, junior, and senior years. Your dedication to the school has inspired me every day to do my best. Also, thank you for proofreading countless essays and this very speech. And now I would like to leave you just a few words that my brother will definitely mock me for. Class of 2022, no matter what is to come, in the wise words of Harry Styles, we'll be all right. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce the class of 2022's faculty speaker, Assistant Principal Charles McSpirit.
Thank you, Leah. Good evening to Vice Chair of the Board of Education, John Kisko. Good evening to Superintendent of Schools, Susan Lebomsky, and Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Susan Ferguson. Good evening to our Principal, Robin Leversus, and our assistants, Andrew Marchand, Leanne McGuire, and Stephen Clark. Thank you for coming tonight. To families and friends who have attended tonight's graduation ceremony, I would like to first start out with this. Good evening and congratulations to the class of 2022. My name is Charlie McSpirit, and I am honored to have been chosen by the class of 2022 to be your faculty speaker. So I just have a few words of wisdom to share. Mr. Marchand asked me to keep it to 3 minutes, so it might go to 7. So over the past 29 years of working as an administrator in the city of Torrington, as an athletic director, as an assistant principal at both the middle school and the high school, here are a few words of wisdom. 1, show up. It's hard to be successful in the game of life if you don't show up. Attendance will count as we go forward in your lives. We won't have Mrs. McCarthy to call your house to say, should you be in school today? My favorite, start the day with a smile. Say good morning to as many people as possible. The head shape also counts. My favorite, another favorite, learn the names of the students in your building. One of the hardest ones, so that's why several of you have nicknames. And you may go by last names because I can't remember your first name. Work hard. If you aren't sure if you're working hard enough, then you're not working hard enough and you have to work harder. You don't have to solve every problem right away. Maybe one time in the hallway you saw me turn around and go the other way. I did that on purpose many times. I was not ready to handle the situation in those first 30 seconds. So I decided I'd go for a walk around the building, come right back to you, and then figure the problem out. The more you say I will take care of it tomorrow, the fewer tomorrows you will have to take care of it. Laugh at yourself. We remember Miss Leversus always doing a shout out to the students and faculty and staff who had done something good, needed to be recognized. So in January of 2020, Mrs. Leversus announced that I was inducted into the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Fame. She made this announcement on a Monday morning. On Tuesday morning, which I normally did on most mornings, was standing in front of a bathroom, supervising the bathroom. So one of the students walked by me and said, "Good morning, Mr. McSpirit. Hall of Fame on Monday, bathroom duty on Tuesday." He was right on. And it's perfect. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Did you notice?
For all the people who have lived their lives in the city of Torrington,
you know what that
who
means?
have worked their careers in the city of Torrington, you
Member of the National
of class
Honor
of 2022, please remember where you came from. The city of Torrington is a great place to live in. It's a great place to be from. And as someone who has been here for 29 years, since the summer of 1993, when my daughter was 5 and my son was 2, it's been a fantastic career, a fantastic life of knowing students of all shapes and sizes and all backgrounds. And finally, a special thanks to the class of 2022 for letting me share in my retirement, as I now have to figure out what I'm doing on July 11th, because I come back from the Jersey Shore on the 10th. 11th will be my first retirement day. I have to figure out what I am doing. We get to take this great adventure together. I hope my retirement will be as successful as your career, your lives. And last but not least, be good, stay out of trouble, and good evening. Thank you.
It's Morris and Mr. McSpirit's retiring, huh?
Apparently.
At this time, I would like to introduce the Torrington Board of Education Vice Chair, John Kisko.
Had him a few times, huh?
Thank you, Mr. McSpirit. Good evening, everyone. Faculty members, guests, parents, especially graduates. You are why we are here. Board Chair Fiona Capabianca regrets that she cannot be here tonight to congratulate you herself, and she asked me to fill in for her. I'm happy to do that. These speeches are supposed to include advice and insight, so I'll start with some. Never give a teacher a microphone. You'll hear why over the next couple of minutes. You want more advice? Think for yourself about what you're told. Be careful of advice from people who stand to benefit from you doing what they say you should. It includes almost all politicians. Think twice before you believe them. Vote the way you think is right. The only exceptions are people running for the Board of Education. You can believe everything they say. Still more advice? The more you talk, the less people listen. Moving on. Graduating from high school is like one of those good news, bad news jokes. My favorite goes something like this. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are walking down the side of the road and get hit by a garbage truck. The driver, probably distracted by the Rubenesque pulchritude of Mrs. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head's just pushed off to the side, but Mr. Potato Head gets seriously injured and has to be taken to the hospital, where Mrs. Potato Head waits for the doctor to come out and tell her about her husband's fate. When the doctor finally comes out of the treatment room, he tells Mrs. Potato Head, "I have good news and bad news. The good news is that your husband will live." Okay, but what's the bad news, she asks. And the doctor replies, the bad news is that he will always be no more than a vegetable. Tonight, you get good news. Well, it's a teacher joke. I mean, come on, what do you want? I'm also a father. Call it a dad joke if you want. The good news is that as of tonight, you're a high school graduate. You finished your work. You'll get a diploma testifying to that accomplishment. You have memories and friends, many of which will last a lifetime. Curiously, that you're graduating is also the bad news. It isn't really bad, but you might think so sometimes over the next few days, months, and even years. How's it bad? Well, that you finished high school means that whether you like it or not, you have to move on to new responsibilities. If you're going to college and have chosen that college well, it'll be harder than high school. If you go into the service, that'll be harder than high school. If you go to a full-time job, that will be harder than high school. No matter where you go, more will be expected of you. If you've been doing what you've been asked to do here, the transition will be easier. If not, you have some catching up to do, but it's not too late to make it work. Either way, it's time to put away the things of childhood and find your place in the world. I'm sure that each of you is capable of that. Enter the journey with hope and confidence. Be willing to work hard, and you will succeed. We wish you well. Congratulations. And I have the honor of introducing, as soon as I get the pages moved to her speech, Torrington Superintendent of Schools, our own Energizer Bunny. She has done so much work over the last few years. You've all talked about the COVID adjustments and so on. They started right there in the superintendent's office. I'd like to introduce Superintendent of Torrington Public Schools, Susan Lebomsky.
Thank you, John. This is such a very special evening. We get to have it on our own special THS football field. We get to gather, we get to acknowledge all the wonderful things that you have done over the last 4 years. So good evening, students, parents, staff, family members, Board of Education, and community members. We are so happy to be able to hold our graduation here on this beautiful evening. Many thanks to the THS staff, the administrators, the custodians, the secretaries, especially Julie Beckwith, and our own IT director, Allie Harold, for the planning and the details that makes our graduation event possible. Students, over the last 4 years, many of our speakers have mentioned this, you have experienced frustrations, disappointments that were unimaginable prior to COVID. You have shown resilience and fortitude in the face of these obstacles. These experiences have made you stronger and given you a different perspective on life than those who have gone before you. Pre-COVID, I was able to meet with the majority of seniors before graduation. This year, for many reasons, I was only able to meet with about half of the seniors. I really appreciated our time together. I found the class of 2022 to be very insightful, mature beyond your years, and very thoughtful. I always ask seniors 3 questions. What advice do you have to give to incoming 9th graders? What will you miss from THS? And what could we do better as a district? Students' ideas of what we could do better weren't just about improving the food or the bathrooms or the leakage that happened previously. There were repeated comments about adding more AP classes, world languages, clubs, sports opportunities, and requiring personal finance so that students were better prepared for facing the essentials of life. Your suggestions will guide our future decisions, so thank you so much for sharing. Even more significant was your advice to the incoming 9th graders. You were reflective. These years go fast. Stay focused, work hard. Go out of your comfort zone, as all of you have had to do over the last few years. Try something new, even if it's uncomfortable. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you are not. Some brave soul even said, stay out of the drama. High school is not as scary as you think, and ask for help when you need it. I share these words of wisdom because I think they apply to all of us, as well as all of you as you embark on your new next adventure. Throughout the next few months, when you experience change and uncertainty, look at all you have accomplished. You stayed motivated and focused during one of the most turbulent times in educational history. Your journey has included the culmination of 2 years of upheaval, testing your resolve and your fortitude all the way. It has taught you at a relatively young age how to persevere and to grow in spite of life's challenges that you have faced. But it is how you respond to life's uncertainty and adversity, how you learn to express all that you are in spite of the obstacles which you encounter that defines who you will become. Stay connected as you embark on the new adventures and trying to find your way. Graduation is the closing of one chapter of your life, but it holds the promise and the excitement of the rest of your unwritten story. This senior class will be forever bonded because of what you have experienced together. Many of the speakers have said that. Even though the world has been turned upside down, you have the opportunity to make a difference. At 18, as a voter, you can express your values and your beliefs in a powerful way. My hope is that you'll become involved citizens, speaking about what you think is right and working to create what you envision the world could or should be. Follow your passions, even if it means leaping into the unknown. You've already had to experience that, right? And taking risks. Tune out life's noise and listen to your own voice. Follow your truth and your beliefs. And in the words of your fellow seniors, be yourself, even when it is scary. Stay focused, because life goes by in a blink. And don't be afraid to try something new, accepting help along the way. I look forward to seeing all that you accomplish in the future. Congratulations, class of 2022. I have the extreme honor of introducing the next speaker, Principal Robin Leversus. I've known this woman for 17 years. Sorry, this is emotional for me. For as long as I've known her, she has been a passionate advocate for all students. She is a lifelong learner and an exemplary role model. I've seen Ms. Leversus grow from an elementary teacher to a STEM leader, to an alternate education administrator, to an assistant principal, to being your principal of Torrington High School. In all of these roles, she has been an outstanding teacher and leader. In fact, she has made us proud in our district because she became the Teacher of the Year for the entire district in the year 2013. She has never forgotten what it is all about, the students. It is the relationships that she has cultivated and the enduring bonds she has made with students, families, and staff that have helped her rebuild THS into the welcoming, positive, spirited community that it is today. It is my privilege to present to you your principal, Mrs. Robin Leversus. Okay, I had a challenge not to get emotional tonight, but I don't know after that. Thank you, Sue. Okay, the theme of my speech is new beginnings, but before I start, Leah, there's hope. 59 years, I haven't changed my haircut, so we're good. To the staff and students of Torrington High School, thank you for your enthusiasm, resilience, dedication, and commitment to your success, especially as we continue to work through the challenges of the past 2 years. The 2021-2022 school year was filled with struggles, but also with so many great moments and wonderful memories. As many of us said before, the class of 2022 showed us from day one that they would bring school spirit, joy, and energy back to THS, and you did just that. The school spirit and unity this class exhibited is a model for the years to come, and like one of the speakers said, one of the best ever, and that is the truth.
We are truly blessed to have worked with you, not only these 4 years at Torrington High School, but also for many of you the past 12 years. We couldn't be prouder of you, and please know that it has been an honor to serve as your assistant principal during your freshman year and as your principal the past 3 years. I feel so fortunate that I will be able to continue working with our amazing Torrington High School students, their families, the community, and the staff in the coming years. We have many people to thank. To put on a graduation ceremony of this magnitude is a group effort, and a special thanks must go out to all of our secretaries, but as Ms. Levomsky said, Julie Beckwith, who spends months and months, and the details that go into putting this commencement ceremony on is just incredible. And Julie, thank you, wherever you are. Also, as you know, we are live streaming. I don't think too many high schools are doing that, if any, I'm not sure. But we want to thank our IT department and especially Allie Harold for always putting on such great events. So thank you, Allie. Band, orchestra, chorus, thank you for being here tonight. It adds a really special moment to this night, so thank you. Like the other speakers tonight, thinking about my speech and the message I wanted to share has been on my mind for months. It is so hard to choose what to talk about because you want the message to be impactful, and I care so much about our students. I reread my speech from last year and decided that part of tonight will be what I said last year because I love the message so much. And something you may not know about me is I just spend a ton of time outdoors. I love nature. I love biking, hiking, spending time with my family and friends. But strange as it is, I love rocks, okay? More than typical. So, Lori, Sydney, and the students in the aisle seats, beneath your chair, you have a plate of rocks. If you can lift those up, take one that Dustin, you get yours. Take one that resonates with you and just pass it along, please. You pass the plate and take one. Yep. Okay.
Mary gets a new rock to her collection.
So the journey of a rock is one of nature's greatest phenomenons. The rock you are holding once was buried in a hard place, but now it has surfaced after what is most likely thousands of years. Please let the rock that you are now holding represent a new beginning for each of you. Your rock is perfectly unique and one of a kind, just like you. The rocks are all different, but they were all laying on the same beach. Somehow, their journeys all came together. Some arrived early, some arrived later, but they all made it to the same common place. Always remember to honor and celebrate the differences in each other, and please, don't ever let them divide you. The rock you are holding took a journey. It moved and changed over time and didn't resist the change. We will never forget the last 2 years, that is certain, but my hope is that you take away the positive and focus on living your best life, whatever journey that is in your hands. We can choose to focus on today. When we focus on today, we prepare for tomorrow and continue that cycle so the future is a prosperous and happy one for you. You gotta let yesterday go, okay? On that note, I'd like to shift to 3 reminders for daily living that I say to the students every morning, and how these traits can and will take you far in life. The first thing I say to the kids is work hard. A great work ethic can't be underestimated whether you are heading off to college, the military, or joining the workforce. I remember my mom and dad telling me to arrive early and stay late. Those words of advice have proved to help me find great success in life. Ask questions and ask for help when needed. Ask how you can help others. Put the daily work in to find success, just like Mr. McSpirit said. A great work ethic is one of the most important characteristics you can exhibit to find success. The second reminder I say every morning to the students is to be kind to one another. So I'm just going to share a few stories that had a big impact on me from this year. Early in the year, I stopped by to see the seniors painting and personalizing their parking spots. Many students shared that they had a surprise for me and walked me over with my eyes closed to my typical parking spot. When I opened my eyes, I saw a beautiful parking spot just for me, and I truly felt so loved and appreciated. I'm usually not one to care where I park, but I can tell you after that, if someone was in my spot, I'd think to myself, no, that's my special spot, that was made just for me. We have amazing Torrington High School students. Another special moment was one morning when a student randomly gave me a hug and brought me flowers just to brighten my day. We have amazing Torrington High School students. The third small gesture was one afternoon as I was getting ready for an activity and had just come back from BJ's. I had a car full of water, snacks, treats for staff. We were having a staff meeting. Sure enough, without being asked, a few student athletes came over and started unloading my car. We have amazing Torrington High School students. Other small moments noticed each day were students asking me how I was doing, saying hello in the halls, or after our paths didn't cross for a few days, telling me that they missed me. We have amazing Torrington High School students. Kindness and words do matter. Don't stop doing those random acts of kindness. And I want to compliment the families because you have raised absolutely tremendous, tremendous people. So thank you, families. Thank you, students. I'm almost done, guys. The last thing I say to the students in the morning is the school motto, Quod facis bene fac. What you do, do well. The words speak for themselves. Such a simple message, but a powerful one. Be the best that you can be in whatever you do. Lead by your actions. Do the right thing and you will find great success. Then I end usually with a quote or a positive affirmation. And today's quote is from the great Amanda Gordon. And the quote wraps up my message to you today. There is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. Remember to look for the light and for the rocks in your life. And I think I did it when I first read it, but thank you, everybody. I thank the Board of Ed. I did, okay. And, sorry. The admin team has absolutely been incredible and supported me the past 5 years, so thank you guys so much. To the class of 2022, here we go. This is what you've been waiting for. You are forever connected here, and we will always be connected by this rock that we call Torrington High School. We can't wait for you to share with us all of the great things you accomplish. We are so proud of you. I love you, and congratulations to the class of 2022. One last time, work hard, be kind to one another, and quod facis bene fac, what you do, do well. Okay, we are now getting to the good part, okay? Thank you guys for bearing with us so much. And I'm going to introduce Marissa Berger, and we are going to start passing out your diplomas.
Are you going to do that? Okay. What? Are you going? I can't go up.
Good evening, my name is Marissa Berger. I'm the class of 2022 Student Council Treasurer.
No, he's the Jay.
Kenneth Adamo. David Aguilar. Christopher Alamo. Chloe Allen. Daniel Alvarez. Matthew Ammerman. Christopher Anamarca. Junior Arsenagas. Adon Arias. Yes, sir. Angel Arias. Evelyn Arizaga Borna. Hannah Audia. Lori Vanis Abar. Sydney Aziz. Jason Baker. Lawrence Ballesteros. Kara Banshee. I would like to introduce Jack Delmonico.
Good evening. My name is Jack Delmonico. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Executive Board Vice President. Mariah Barnes. Jesse Barrera. D'Angeli Batista. Marbelin Benavides. Brian Bermio Gallo. Robert Blaze. Julieth Blanco. Shayla Borgia. Gabriella Bordelati. Rachel Boston. Calissa Bullock. Marissa Berger. Joey Burleson. Hector Calixto. Spencer Calverley. Raymond Campbell. Rylan Carlson. I would like to introduce William DePietro.
Good evening, wrong one. Good evening, my name is William DePietro. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Representative. First up, we got Macy Carter. Juliana Castile. Shelby Centrella. Shaylin Chamberlain. Dustin Chen. Edwin Giagaio. Bailey Sacertia. Jason Klingscales. Joshua Coleman. Demir Coles. Jaden Colgan. Kirsten Cologne. Kayla Damon. Leah Darby. Lilith De Silva Martinez. Mia Davis. And Isaiah Diaz. I would like to introduce Jaden Gambos.
Good evening. My name is Jaden Gambos. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Secretary. Jack Delmonico. Daniel DePady. Logan Diaz Lapardo. Ethan DeLulo Stein. William DePietro. Hannah Dupree. Olivia Iglesias. Brianni Fana. Yareem Fantuzzi. Jocelyn Fernandez. Malcolm Francis. Omar Gainey. Sky Garcia. Bradley Ganau. Brian Georgia. Astrid Geraldo. Deanna Goddard. I would now like to introduce Amelia Russell.
Good evening. My name is Amelia Russell. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Executive Board Secretary. Jaden Gambos. Luis Gonzalez. Ryan Green. Jacob Grobel. Teresa Gutierrez. Aaliyah Hammonds. Haley Hanscom. Leslie Hernandez. Ignacio Hilton King. Layla Hadzik. Stephen Horn. Michael Isaac. Jillian Jones. Ashanti Jose. Joanna Jessup. Alexa Kelly. Joseph Knox. I would like to introduce Haley Hanscom. Good evening. My name is Haley Hanscom. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Vice President. Zachary Cruiser. Andrew Krieger. Daniela Kaleja. Luis Leonard. Sophia Lestrude. Hannah Llewellyn. Ashley Loja. Jennifer Lopez. Aliesa Lopez. Nicole Luba. Angela Macione. Ethan McCrae. Alexa Manicha. Emmeline Marte Corporan. Lingeli Marte Rivera. Ever Martinez. Catherine McGillicuddy. I would now like to introduce Stephen Horn.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Horn. I am the class of 2022 Student Council Executive Board Treasurer. I'd like to announce Brendan McGowan, Faith Mackenzie Thomas, Lily Modeska, Ryan Mercogliano, Jose Malord, JC Monterio, Monty Monterio, Litzy Mora Francisco, Devin Morales, Danielle Moreno, Alan Morgan, Chrisani Morris Farrow, Eddie Moy Perez, Mary Nelson, Quinn No. I would like now to introduce Lily Modeska.
Chauffeur, roll me back, chauffeur. Roll me back, chauffeur. Auto.
That was the one. This was what is that? Good evening. My name is Lily Modeska. I'm the class of 2022 Student Council Representative. Braden Neach. Genevieve Norton, Wesley Orlana, Jordan Ortega, Vidi Patel, Run Patel, Mary Renee Pena, Luis Penaranda, Robert Penny III, Andy Peralta, Dante Perry, Carolina Peterson, Brando Pilko, Jaslyn Pimentel, Natalia Polanco, Shayla Polanco, Amel Pushkarevich. I would like to introduce Evan Slate.
Good evening, my name is Evan Slate, and I am a class of 2022 Student Council representative. First is Brandy Kachimbo Barrera. Next is Marielle Cork. Caitlin Kishpe.
So's mine.
Damian Ray Skitroma.
Got a couple good pictures.
Rohan Ramesh. Isabella Ramirez. Scott Rapuano.
I didn't even go through them. I gotta edit them.
Jennifer Radrovan.
Here.
Do you see them?
I got a selfie. I can go through them later.
Aiden Riley. Ashiley Reyes. Hannah Richard. Shanley Richardson. William Riley.
Honey.
Aiden Rivera.
Is that her little girlfriend?
Bradley Rivera.
I think so. I'll show you.
Deliana Rivera. Jameis Lee Rivera. I would like to introduce Cooper Szymanski.
No, it's not. It's the one behind her.
Yeah. Oh, I could have told you that.
Good evening, my name is Cooper Szymanski. I'm the class of 2022 Student Council representative. Janelli Rivera. Skylar Robinson. Jade Robles. Adriana Rodriguez. Alexander Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez. Christopher Rodriguez. Thomas Rooney. Exodus Rosado. Isabella Roy. Kelly Ruiz Borgia. Amelia Russell. Alyssa Sabia. Camila Salcido Pena. Marvin Salto Tolongo. Jadid Sarmiento. Omari Scales. Mackenzie Shriebman Caputi. I would like to introduce Tyler Zaveri.
He makes it. Listen, bro, my worst fear is staying back. So, you know, damn where I ain't staying back.
Good evening. My name is Tyler Zaperi. I'm the class of 2022 Student Council Representative, Demi Safadini. Kelly Segara. Tyler Semenich. Melissa Sestito. Louietta Shehu. Samuel Shredders. Wesley Shuhai. Justin Skarupa. Mason Scott. Evan Slade. Quentin Smith. Christopher Stevens. Mark Sullivan. Nice job, bro. Cooper Saminsky. Vanna Takeman. Tao Thatch. Tatiana Thomas. I would now like to introduce Tatiana Thomas.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Thomas. I'm the class of 2022 Student Council Representative. Krishan Tingling. Mohammed Trayor. William Ubelis. Arturo Guerena. Ashley Valdez. Michael Valentine. Aiden Vega. Joshua Wade. Samantha Warren. Kayla Williams. Noah Williams. Wellesley Wilson. Tyler Wright. Isabella Zaragoza. Emily Zarcone. Tyler Zapiri. I would now like to introduce Logan Wilson to the podium.
Will all graduates please rise? Congratulations to the class of 2022. You may now move your tassel from the right to the left side.
Yeah! You did it!
No, this will be you like that.
Packing up.
No, we gotta go over there.
Where?
They're not gonna be, we're not gonna do another chance. What?
Oh, we can leave now, right? Vámonos. She's already gone. It's 7:30.
Why? Are they supposed to meet at the bus?
Yeah.
You want to start heading down then?
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the midst of a whole bunch of crowds.
Yeah? That's where we're gonna be.
Yeah, they were. Are you sure she's already gone?
Yeah. She's way over there.
I just hold it here.